Welcome to Sound Healing Radio. I'm David Gibson, and today's show is on how to find the frequencies in your body with your own voice. We're going to play with different techniques to really be able to track them down and do it intuitively. You know, there's a lot of charts on the frequency of everything in the body, but no one agrees on anything for anything for anything. So it's much better to develop your own intuition around it. So our intention is that we all may be so intuitive that we know precisely the frequencies to use and make with our voice to heal every disease in the world on your own. That's all. So let's talk about how to find your own frequency of any part of the body and resonate it into health. The basic concept here is that, let me get rid of this little light here, is that whenever you find a frequency of any part of the body and either make that sound or play that frequency with a tone generator to it, it makes that part of the body healthy. Good science behind this. I mean, they've actually taken frequencies of cells and played them to cells, and it makes the cell healthy. It makes it more symmetrical too. So this is really, really powerful and really, I mean, you can actually heal disease this way, right? And so, so the basis of it all, as we've talked about in a lot of these presentations, is about finding the resonant frequency of something. Now, in physics, there are a couple of different resonances. The first resonance is spaces. And there's a mathematical formula for the resonant frequency of something based on the distance between two parallel walls. So if you have, say, 3 feet between two walls, all you have to do is divide that 3 feet into 1130 feet per second, which is the speed of sound. Varies a little bit, so it's not going to be precise. It varies depending on the height above sea level and the actual temperature, but you'll get really close. So you divide 3, or let's say you're in the shower and you've got walls that are 4 feet across. Well, if you divide 4 into 1130, you'll get a frequency of around 275 hertz. And that frequency will get louder when you actually play it or tone it or sing it. It gets louder. That's called acoustic resonance. The reason it gets louder is because the waveform of sound equals the exact distance between the walls at that frequency. So a waveform of sound is compressed air. Whenever your speaker or your voice pushes out, it creates compressed air. Whenever your speaker or your vocal cords, that is, pulls in, it creates spaced out air. So you would have compressed air and spaced out air. The two together match the distance between the walls exactly. It's called a standing wave, and it makes that frequency louder. So if you're in the shower, it's like, it gets louder at that one frequency. But we also have frequencies or resonances that are materials instead of spaces. It's a completely different mathematical formula for the resonant frequency of a material. It's actually, if you double the size, it's half the frequency. If it's like a string, it's taut, and you make it 9 times more taut, it triples the frequency. It's a square root. There's also a square root relationship to the thickness and the density of the material. It gets a little complex, but there's a mathematical formula for materials, which could be any material in the body, whether it's the skin or nerves or bones or anything. It's actually a mathematical formula for actually finding this frequency. Or we can look at any space in the body. There's a third resonance, which I don't know the formula for, but it's quantum resonance. Sometimes people call it scalar waves, and these are resonances of thought forms, resonances of emotions, and especially resonances of intention. And these are really well studied. I mean, this is not woo woo. I mean, it's really well known that your intention creates a resonant field that goes out and actually, I mean, there's a whole book called The Intention Experiment by Lynn McTaggart where she shows like hundreds of different experiments that prove that intention works. Right? But what we're going to be focusing on today is mostly the spaces and the materials within the body. Yeah, we'll actually do a little emotion at the end here. So the technique here to find a part of the body is to actually do a frequency sweep really loudly and listen for when that part of the body starts vibrating the most. I can do this with the space in my mouth. Let me see if I can find the frequency that resonates the parallel walls between the walls of my mouth. Okay. There it is. See how that frequency, that one frequency got way louder. Right? Now let's do it where we find the frequency of your chest cavity. Okay? If you can make it out loud, put your hand on your chest and go up and down in frequency really loudly until you get right on it. Let me demonstrate. There it is, right in there. Ooh, I'm going to get right on it. Ooh, ooh, that's the loudest right there. Ooh, there's another one that's a little higher, that's especially if women can't go that low. So ooh, yeah, right there. Ooh. Everybody's chest is a little bit different in size, so it's going to be a little bit different frequency for you than me. Ooh, that's especially the main one. Ooh. Now let's find the frequency of your neck cavity. Okay, put your hand on your neck and go up and down in frequency and see where it vibrates the most. Smaller space, so it's a higher frequency. Right? Okay. Right about there is one. Right there. There's a higher one too. Right there. That one vibrates a lot. Fun to play with. Okay. Now there's a really loud one in your skull cavity. I mean, it's incredibly loud, but it's best to do this one with the vowel E up your nose. So not E out your mouth, it's up your nose. E. Do a frequency sweep with the E up and through your nasal cavity. E. Okay, so you can put your fingers in your ears and go up and down. When you hit this one, oh my God, it is so loud. Let's see if I can find it here. There it is for me. Oh my God, that's so loud. Again, for your head, your frequency is going to be a little bit different because your head's probably a little bit different size because it's totally based on the size of your head. Okay, now let's find something a little harder. I'm sorry, this one's really easy. Let's find the frequency of the 4 chambers in your heart. Now, this is not woo-woo. There is an actual resonant frequency within those four chambers. Okay? And they're all about the same size. The only problem is it's a little tricky to find it because you get distracted by your chest cavity resonances. So you almost have to do it intuitively. Okay? So let's actually put your hand on your heart and go up and down and see if you can find the frequency of your heart cavities. Smaller space, so higher frequency. Seems right there for me. Wouldn't that be interesting if that frequency were the same frequency of love for you? The actual resonance of the space in your heart cavities is the frequency of love. I haven't tested it. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So here's the deal. When you find a resonant frequency of a part of the body, let me put it this way, even if you don't get it right, there's all these positive aspects that are really good for you. First of all, when you do sound into your body, which it naturally resonates even when you make any sound, it creates energy. You're sending energy to that part of the body. Sound is energy. But you're also, with that energy, you're massaging it. So the body loves to be massaged, right? It'll get a little tension and massage is great. So these vibrating sounds in any part of the body are great because they're like a massage. But you're also sending a stable, consistent vibration. You're not sending a or static or right? You're not sending a chaotic vibration. You're sending a vowel. We're doing all of these are vowels we're sending to the part of the body. Right? And stable, consistent vibrations is the definition of peace. Peace is a frequency humming consistently. And vowels are always peaceful because they are like a sine wave. They're very stable. They're not chaotic like fear, or anxiety, or anger, right? They're very stable. Oh, let me do original sound so you can hear it better. Right. So that's the third benefit, stable, consistent, even if you don't get it wrong. The fourth one, even if you don't get it wrong, is you're sending a positive intention. You're not going, you suck, you suck. No, you're sending good energy to any part of the body. But if you get the frequency right, first of all, resonance in physics is stored energy. So it will actually release energy that is stored in that cell or organ, which is always good. I mean, chi energy is always good for any part of the body, right? Unless you're like totally overwhelmed with energy and just completely frazzled. Sometimes it can be too much for some people, but generally it's really good. It's really good. We always need more energy in any part of the body. But the main thing is, as I mentioned before, when you find the exact frequency of that part of the body, it will resonate it into its healthy state. Completely resonate into its healthy state. And this is really the new medicine, right? It's a new hospital. I mean, we can get very precise with this with electronic devices and electron microscopes and actually find the frequency of every part of the body and resonate it into its healthy state with zero side effects. This is really the way to go to sustain health. And even if you have a problem or a disease where it's kind of either gone off pitch or it's just fibrillating, it's gone into chaos based on the stress, the chaos of stress. Even if you've done that, if you play that resonant frequency of where it was before it got stressed out, you can resonate it back into its healthy state. So this is really, really important. So even if you don't get it right, there's really good benefits. If you get it right, you get the bonus. Yeah. Now, let's find the frequency of something a little more I'm sorry, this one's really easy. Let's find the frequency of your adrenals. Okay. Your adrenals are little pyramids, about ½ inch high, right on top of the kidneys. And here's the sound that the adrenals commonly make. Stop! Stop! Please stop! It's frazzled, right? They're overworked. I mean, if you stay up past dark, you probably got adrenal fatigue. And when they get fatigued, they go into this frazzledness, this chaos. Ah! So by sending a stable, consistent vowel to it, we can overcome it. If we get the frequency right, you can totally get rid of that adrenal fatigue. But the problem is, I can't feel my adrenals. They're too small. There's a lot of organs I can't feel when I do sound. Some people might be able to, but I can't. Right? So we're going to have to do this one completely intuitively. So what we're going to do is do a frequency sweep up and down in the head. And when we get to the frequency of the adrenals, hopefully, it's like a little fairy goes, there it is, there it is. Right? Or it's a complete knowing. That's the frequency of my adrenals. Over time, I've had people that couldn't do this all in the beginning of the class. And by the end of the class, this one woman, she goes, Dave, I can hear the frequency of my Lyme's disease. Cool. When you practice it, you can get really good at this. She said, what do I do with it? Well, go up and down, above and below it. Or do vibrato if you know how to do vibrato. And break it up. And then another woman, she goes, Dave, I can hear the frequency of my cancer, my mom's cancer. Whoa. She couldn't do it. I mean, she had no intuition at the beginning, but by practicing it, she got really good at it. And she said, what do I do? I said, don't match it. Find it, hold boundaries, hold space between you and that person, and go up and down, above and below it to break it up. One of our instructors, previous instructors, Amrita, actually had breast cancer, and she actually found the frequency of the tumor. It heated up, and then she went above and below it to break it up and went in for surgery, and they said, the x-ray machine must be broken. We don't see any more cancer. And then they tried it again. They said, nope, cancer is completely gone. Right. This is very cool. Okay, so let's find the frequency of your adrenals. Go up and down in your head and find it intuitively. Okay, here I go. Until you find its frequency. And then make it out loud. Remember, if you don't get it right, it's still positive. If you do get it right, you get the bonus. You really resonated into health very quickly. It's very cool, right? Overcoming that frazzledness where it's just completely overworked, right? Now, I've actually got a CD for endocrine glands with a frequency set for adrenals. There's one frequency which is the actual adrenals, and four other frequencies that are a algorithm based around that first frequency, based on Chinese tuning system actually. So let me share my screen, share my sound here, and I'll play the frequencies, our SIMA frequencies for adrenals. Okay. We have this in our store, by the way, under the endocrine gland CD. Okay. Okay. Check this out. Not music. These are frequencies that you play right on the body with headphones or with our vest or that strap I showed you, or you could use the dolphin as well. Really effective. But you could just use headphones. Okay, here's the adrenal frequencies. They're a little annoying, so uh, enjoy. Really effective. That came from Peter Guy Manners, who actually was a doctor in Germany before World War II, and then he went back and got some frequency sets, then did a bunch of research on his own. So they're really well researched. But I think it would be really cool to actually do way more detailed research on a full range of adrenals and find the actual range of frequencies for all adrenals for all humans, right? And then ultimately, where we're headed is to be able to use an electron microscope and actually just scan your adrenals and see what not only what frequency the adrenals are, but all of the frequencies in the adrenals. Because you got your adrenals, you got the materials of the adrenals, you got the fluids in there, and you've got the cellular frequencies, even the frequencies within the cell, and the atomic level of frequency. So it would be best ultimately if we have the full set of frequencies of all of those for your adrenals, tuned precisely to you based on this electron microscope. We're talking about completely repairing the adrenals, I would bet, within an hour. I mean, maybe you might need over a week or so, but ultimately this is where we're headed. You got a problem with the organ? Okay, doctor, you just email them, right? Email me the frequencies and I'll play it right on them. I don't even have to go in. And it's 100% cure. This is where we're headed. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm serious. I mean, this is really, the potential is massive here. Okay. Okay. Let's find the frequency. Actually, let's take a little break and play a song just for fun. Uh, we're actually about to do the, oh, actually, let's do one more. We'll do the thymus. The thymus is another endocrine gland, which is right here. You can tap it to help activate it. And the thymus is what they often call the portal to universal love. So they call it the high heart in the chakras, but it's also really good for the immune system. That's why if you're starting to feel sick, it's good to tap your thymus. Right? It's even kind of looks like a heart. It's about it's about this size, right here. And when you find its frequency, they say you can open up your heart to universal love. They say that's where universal love comes in, is through the thymus down into your heart. So let's see if you can find the frequency of your thymus and open up to universal love. Okay, I'll do it. And you can just watch and do it if you like as well. Yeah, okay, let me say this. When I was in Egypt, every chamber I walked into and every temple and every pyramid, I would do a frequency sweep to find its resonant frequency. Because they say when you find a resonant frequency of a sacred temple, it will actually open up a portal to higher dimensions and you can do some major healing there. I know many people that have had such an experience, including myself. But after about a week or 5 days of doing this in all the temples, I got really good where I could hear the echoes and I could go right to the frequency of the room. And so over time, you can actually just skip the frequency sweep and go right to it. Let me do that for my thymus. I feel it first, and I go. I actually thought about its size, and I've gotten to where I can tune into the frequency based on the size of something, because that's the number one thing that makes a frequency different between different materials. Okay. Okay, I'm bringing in universal love now. Cool. Okay, now that we're here, resonating universal love, let me play my song, Unconditional Love, which is all about universal love. Okay, so enjoy this one. Oh, wrong one. I'll play this one. Here we go. worked for me. It's really cool to not have to use music, though, to be able to just bring it right in through your thymus. They say universal love also comes in through the crown. Often I feel it just coming down through my pituitary and pineal, which we'll get through in a second here. Now, you can also find the frequency of your thyroid. I wouldn't say it in public, but I would bet that you could actually overcome thyroid issues just by toning the frequency of your thyroid. Right? So try it. Go up and down and see if you can find the frequency that resonates in your thyroid. I like that one. But there it is there for me. So it totally vibrates your throat. Again, it's all about overcoming a chaotic vibration with a stable, consistent vibration, which are any vowel. Any vowel. You could just hum, right? Or any vowel. I like to do vowels because they're a little louder, a little more powerful than humming. They all create nitric oxide and just peace in the body whenever you resonate any vowel or do the secret vowel, which is MMM, humming. Okay. Okay. So now let's find the resonant frequency of your third eye, which is your pituitary and hypothalamus, most people say. It's very high frequency, but when you find its frequency, you can open up your third eye and be able to see energy inside people or see ley lines, right? Or you can just totally open up your intuition to a whole another level. So do a frequency sweep in your head. I can't really feel it physically, so out loud. So I do like to do this one silently. Do a frequency sweep and see if you can find the frequency of your third eye. Pituitary and hypothalamus. I think it's an octave higher than that, actually. Very cool. To really open up your intuition to a whole nother level. It's a fun one to play with. Again, you can just do that one silently. You don't have to do it out loud at all. You could even make the sound silently as well. I've actually found that making a sound silently is as effective and can be even more effective than making it out loud, especially for things you can't feel. Right? So here's the technique for that. What you do is once you find the frequency, you breathe in, and on the out breath, you hear the sound in your head, you make the sound in your head, and mentally send it to that part of the body. So find a part of the body that's needing a little help right now. We normally always have something going on, right? Find a part of the body, or if you don't have any part that needs help, just send it to a part that you want to make even feel better. Okay? And then breathe in, find its frequency first. Okay, do your frequency sweep and find its frequency. I'm going to find my neck. It's been bothering me. This little nerve got hurt a long time ago in an accident. Okay, I'm going to find its frequency. And then breathe in, and on the out breath, imagine that sound in your head and send it to that part of the body. Okay, here we go, like this. On the out breath. Okay, in breath and out breath. Hear that frequency in your head. Some people have a hard time hearing the frequency. What you can do is do it out loud, and then that will help you get it going in your head if you have any trouble. But most people can do it, where you just imagine the frequency. First, you got to find it by doing the frequency sweep. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to do it again. In and out. I just got a little pop in my neck. That's cool. Again, it's all about peace. The whole deal is peace. And you're sending a stable, consistent vibration of peace to that part of the body. It's just so good. And you're breathing. You're doing a deep breath, which is really good. So even if you don't get it right, it's still party time. Right? Okay. Now, if you can find the frequency of your pineal gland, we're talking about opening the crown to source, right? The pineal gland, they say, is full of crystals. They used to make radios out of crystals. In fact, they actually had a different size crystal for every radio station. And they would tune in that crystal to get that radio station. It's a trip, isn't it? I mean, oh my God, crystals totally receive electromagnetic signals. And that's what the pineal gland does. And it's receiving electromagnetic or frequency signals from source. So when you find the frequency of pineal, it opens your crown to source and spirit. Okay, so do a frequency sweep and see if you can find that frequency of your pineal gland. Way too high for me to sing. It's way up there. Okay, now breathe in, and on the out breath, breathe that frequency into your pineal. Pineal is right in the middle of the head. It's this little pea, just about that big, little tiny little thing, just really small. And breathe that frequency you found into it on the out breath. Breathe in and out. Try again. In and out. Very cool. You should get chills when you get it right as well. Because this is, again, this is like universal love can come in through the pineal gland. Right? Very cool. And that will lead you to enlightenment. Let me play my enlightenment song. It's one of my favorites. And focus on your pineal gland while listening to this to open it completely. Okay. Enjoy. May you find the frequency of health for every single cell and part of the body, and be able to resonate it into health on your own. Ultimately, may we all be able to heal ourselves and heal each other and take our power back from the pharmaceutical companies. There's some good things here and there, but take our power back so we can once again heal ourselves and heal each other. Hold that frequency for at least the rest of the afternoon and evening, through the week, months ahead, years ahead, and lifetimes. Thanks for listening. Take care.